Hey everybody, it's the coach, and this is Monday Night Football on EA Sports. Straight ahead, we've got what should be an interesting matchup between the Los Angeles Rams and the Cleveland Browns. I'll be back at halftime to look at some of these stats and scores from Sunday's action. But for now, it's Monday Night Football. And to call the action, here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
And, Coach, we come at you from the shores of Lake Erie. EA Sports has the coverage of the NFL from First Energy Stadium here in Cleveland, Ohio. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Los Angeles Rams and the Cleveland Browns. Hi again, everyone. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, we look at this Browns ball club. Hi again, everyone. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, we look at this Browns ball club. They come in riding high, just one loss in their last 7 games.
It's a very focused team, very disciplined. They've kept the penalties to a minimum, and they're winning football games.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Rams, they're hitting their stride of late. Winners of 3 of their last 4.
And the offense last week, they had things humming. If you're a defensive player, you may get overshadowed a little bit, but you're really buoyed by what your offense is doing.
And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now a play fake here on first down. Blitz coming, and down he goes. So a look here at the key inactives, and we got this list before the game down on the field. And they tell us the same thing every time, don't they? Next man up.
No excuses. Be ready to play. That's the mantra of every organization. The key is having guys on the roster who are capable of playing in and playing at a high level. That's when you know you've drafted well, scouted free agents well, and stocked your team just the way you're supposed to.
9 yards on the pickup that time, so he got more than half of it back, but it's still a 3rd and 8. An early tough test on the opening drive. This is 3rd and 8.
All right, here we go.
From the shotgun, it's Rosen. And this is going to be incomplete. The Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu, there defensively to make the play.
And 3rd down is a key down in any game you play. And 3rd down defense, something we've got to watch in this one. Got to be effective on the passing downs. That's a pretty good first step right there.
That'll be a 49-yard punt, 6 yards there on the return. And the Rams will go on offense here with a 1st and 10. Now they'll run it on the toss. He finds an opening past the 40. Through an opening, and there he goes. And finally out of bounds all the way down at about the 2. A big play there for L.A. And even 70 yards. So all the way down close to the goal line. Good blocking up front. Helped to spring him.
When this drive is over, he's got to get to the bench and sing kumbaya with the offensive line, doesn't he?
And he will fight his way into the end zone for a touchdown. Anthony Sherman, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Rams are going to take a first-quarter lead.
Brandon, my man, just one sentence for that one. Clinic.
And that's what they've done. They lead the league in points per game this season, but it's been quick strikeability as we saw on that drive.
I think they're actually intimidating defenses because they're back on their heels right away, wondering where it's going to come from, how they're going to hit them. This group is well organized, well coached, and extremely confident in what they do.
And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field.
And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team. And that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak could have them out of the playoffs, so they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them. The numbers for him from a week ago, 21 carries, 95 yards.
And as we discovered in talking with the coaching staff prior to the game, going up.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. But I think Brown was able to recover, and they'll indeed hold on to the ball here.
On plays like this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from it. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down.
Well, the good thing about covering any game I do with you is I know that there's no problem with rhythm. Now, what we're watching offensively, a little bit of a problem there.
Yeah, punt on the first drive, looking at another one here. Just a little slow. You know, they were talking about a fast start, but that hasn't been the case.
Yeah, and let's face it, any team we cover always talks about a fast start.
That's true.
But it's not necessarily going to happen just because they say so. And whether it's the script, whether it's, just what they're going through, whether it's seeing different defenses, they're going to have to figure it out as this game moves on.
And he's going to be stopped up quickly here. Just a yard up to the 39.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Rolling to his right. This is caught by Antonio Brown. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. He got 29 yards that time.
Looked like the defense put pretty good pressure on him, but he's able to flush out to his right to try and evade people. On the run, had to get on his horse. Still accurately throws a nice pass for a 1st down.
Now it's Brown. And he gets stopped up at the 31 after a gain of maybe a yard.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
Now Bray. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Call it luck or skill, whatever the case is, they're feeling good about just keeping the football there.
Yeah, the biggest thing that they're calling it now, our ball. I mean, they don't care if it was luck or skill. Boy, the panic that jumps up in your chest when that ball's on the ground, whether you get it or your teammate gets it, just as long as you maintain possession, that's all you're looking for.
And some secondary help here for the defense in the nickel on 3rd and long. They'll drop to throw. And he finds a man on the crossing route. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. And they're able to convert on 3rd with a solid gain of 23. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he stopped immediately there. Give the tackle there to Daniil Hunter. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain.
And just a couple yards there down to the 17.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Seventh play of the drive, forthcoming on 3rd and 8.
Watch it now, Barney.
They're going to look to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. So it goes as a fumble, but the key thing, not a fumble loss.
Yeah, that stat's big, isn't it? I mean, I remember watching teams play. The ball might be on the ground a number of times during the game, but the other team doesn't get it. That's a huge difference in the ball game. And in this case, they were able to retain possession.
So as it turns out, that sack doesn't wind up costing them, Charles. They at least get points, get 3 of them.
Yeah, that's where your kicker can really come to your rescue because, you know, after the sack, there was a little consternation there. Are we out of field goal range? Are we going to be able to get 3? In this case, he stepped right up and gave them exactly what they needed.
And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on 3rd down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a 1st down and change our momentum?
And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. 10 yards there to start the drive, and just enough by about the length of the football for a 1st down. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
All right, here we go.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on 1st down. And this defense not giving him anything there. Maybe a yard up to the 36.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
The last completion actually lost a yard, so now they'll need to convert on 3rd down.
All right, here we go.
Out of the gun, here's Josh Rosen. Able to haul it in is Kittle. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. A really good pickup of 28 yards.
The goal for any offense versus a zone defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. And he'll slice his way down to the 30 with a pickup of 7. They're looking at a 2nd and short yardage to start things out.
All right, here we go.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. Give him 3 yards and a fresh set of downs.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football in that situation. That's almost a tendency breaker.
Here we go. Green, 39. Green.
Now Rosen on 1st down. Wide open receiver complete. And they do get him down, but not before he's able to slip it inside the 5-yard line. A good pickup there, a 22. A first red zone opportunity for the Browns thus far. They've got a 1st and goal just inside the 5.
Here we go now. Blue landed. Blue landed.
They'll give it to him right up the gut. And not a whole lot there. He does get a couple, taking it from the 5 down to the 3.
That run didn't get very far, and I think when you're looking at his dimensions, he's a little bit on the smaller side. He's counting on the big guys up front to escort him in, and they couldn't create any kind of space for him, could they?
Yeah, didn't get the push they needed. They'll give it to him up the middle. And he pushes forward but comes up short of the goal line as he'll get a yard down to about the 1. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on 3rd, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice. but I often think that second down is a time you go play action and throw the ball. I say commit to the run and think about it being 4-down territory.
And he's not even going to get back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that will bring up an interesting decision here on 4th and goal. And his kick here is good. And they get themselves on the board here. It's 10-3. So the field goal there caps what winds up to be an 11-play drive.
Well, partner, that's a lot of offense to run there to only get 3 points. I just wonder, are they going to recycle those plays because they were successful in getting 3? Or do you go to another section of the playbook trying to find ones that get you into the end zone and get you 6?
Now the Rams offense, they work their way back on the field. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Right back to him on 1st down. And hard running's going to get him over the 40 to the 42. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
Watch him now, Barney, Barney.
He'll drop to throw. On the move to his left. And a hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
He kind of forced that one there, didn't he? It's almost like he predetermined where he was going to go with the football.
Yeah, he wasn't really going through progressions. He wanted to go to his top guy. You do that against this defense, they'll make you pay, won't they?
Yeah, they certainly will. They react very quickly to the thrown football.
So after the 2nd down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. They'll look to throw here. He gets it to Brown, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 12 yards there as they keep this drive rolling. It's another 1st down.
Nice catch right there. Brings to mind the sentence, when in doubt, find your veterans.
We used to laugh back in the day when they would call guys like him crafty veterans. You get up in your 30s, you're still playing receiver, but you're around that long at that position, you're doing something right.
Just remember this. When he was young, he thought the crafty veteran was simply a guy who couldn't run anymore. Now he understands a little bit better.
A huge play that time for the Rams. 42 yards. So down inside the 5-yard line. I have to say, really just a poor job defensively there.
You're exactly right. As a former defensive back, that was not played well at all. But give credit to the offense and give credit to the guy running the football. He gets it down 5.
And he's going to press this one forward as they stop him right around the 1. A pickup of 4 on 1st down. It'll be 2nd and goal.
Good solid gain on 1st down. About what you'd expect from the big guy carrying the ball.
2nd and goal from the 1.
Hurry up, here we go.
They'll go with a keeper. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Los Angeles. It's their quarterback scoring on the sneak from a yard out. And the Rams add on to their lead. And he's able to put it through. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
Give him 30 yards there.
There's simply no sense in wasting a great catch like that on a short gain. Get downfield like you just did there and use it up that way.
No dink and dunk. They'll look to throw on first down with Josh Rosen. Pass the and he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And he will bring it back. It's an interception return for a Rams touchdown.
Partner, what we just saw, that's a great example of a team that was really amped up. They've been playing so well, yet they didn't get overexcited and have a bust on defense and gave up a big play. Instead, they created their own big play with a pick six. This one may be over.
Yeah, it's just the first half, but that lead has swelled to the point where you're wondering if it is over already. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. And following the pick six, and they have decent field position in throwing that pick six. We'll see how they attack this drive.
And I think all you say to your guy is, listen, let's just take care of the football a little bit better. Make some better decisions on this drive, and they'll probably help him a little bit with maybe some really high percentage throws early to let him get settled back in.
But they told him, and they told us, they've got confidence. That's not a problem.
Yeah, not a problem at all. They just want to make sure they get things settled down a little bit for their offense and give their defense a little bit of a chance to rest. Well, I guess that answers the question whether or not they want him throwing it again right away after throwing the pick six on the previous drive.
Yeah, not something conservative or underneath. Pretty big shot right there.
Get him right back in the saddle and say, go ahead and sling it, big guy.
Here's Rosen to throw. Gonna let one fly for Robinson. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked by Darryl Worley. And a great return as he's up close to the 40-yard line. That's sort of a second quarter to forget for him. Now 2 picks in this frame.
Almost as if the first one that he threw, he couldn't shake, couldn't get it out of his head. He ends up throwing a second one as a result.
Compounds the mistake a little bit.
Yeah, you got to be able to forget, compartmentalize, whatever you want to call it, and move on. He hasn't been able to do so here in the second.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he'll take this up over the 40 to about the 41. Give the tackle that time to Rodney McLeod.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen.
Trying for Brown, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Rashad Jones. And he'll get this one out to the 50 to the midfield stripe. That's an experienced DB picking off a rookie, and you know sometimes those experienced DBs, they love going against the young pups, don't they?
And I'll go back to the offseason, have a quick conversation with him about, hey, when you play younger quarterbacks, what's it like for you? And he says it's like being a boxer. I give him a lot of different angles, a lot of different looks, and a lot of times I just bait the young guy.
And there he baited him right into the interception. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10.
Now let's go. Blue line it.
From midfield now, here's Rosen. Caught out left side by Robinson. And he'll get it down here to the 43. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down. The Browns on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This time it's 3rd and 3.
Now let's go. Blue line it. Blue line it.
From the gun, it's Rosen. The tight end Kittle has it on the left side. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. But just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. Throwing now, Rosen on first down. Looking left side, and it's complete. And all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland. In for the score. And the Browns make some inroads here on that deficit.
I think if you polled defensive backs, they would say the corner route take that out, make it illegal, because that is so hard to recognize and so hard to adjust, because your first move is to not get beat in the middle of the field. And that's how they move you first before they break off to the corner.
But then as the wide receiver, great job. It's tough to turn those upfield and go, but he did a great job with it there.
Really good balance, really good body control, and how about the end result? A touchdown.
Now here's the signal caller getting ready to lead this offense again. He hasn't had his best day. They have been good running the football, and they have the lead, though, so maybe he just personally wants to improve his play.
And that's without a doubt, because at the end of the game, he wants to feel like he had a really good hand in his team winning, if in fact they do go on. And
that's caught at the 25. A big play there for L.A. 51 yards. So that changes things in a big way. Now from all the way down inside the 30, here's 1st and 10. This is Brown on the carry. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It'll be a loss of 1, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11. Now back to throw. And that one goes incomplete. He's maybe lucky it wasn't a fumble as he got hit as he threw it.
The good signal callers would never go back in the huddle and play the blame game, because they need those guys to protect him. But on that last one, his offensive line, they lost their leverage very quickly, and that's why they were able to get to him and hit him as he tried to throw the football and force an incompletion.
On 3rd down, it's Brown, and he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line. And now a timeout called defensively by the Browns, as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. And the kick by Butker is good. And that'll push the lead up to 17. No problems in the field goal department so far. He's 2 for 2.
Pretty reliable here in this game, isn't he? And to me, that bodes well for them. If they need him late in the game, his confidence should be sky high.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned they're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk is a big decision here.
So a decent game, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. Now Rosen looking to throw. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
On 2nd down, here's Rosen. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. It's the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu. That interception sets them up beautifully already in the red zone.
And you can hear it all the way up here. Oski, everyone turned to block, find the spot, and now they're set up inside the red zone for their offense.
They go play action here on 1st down. And incomplete, he dropped it in the end zone.
Coverage was very good that time. A nice job to smother him as the ball arrived, and that ensured an incomplete pass.
And it keeps 6 points off the board. So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. Now they'll run it on the toss. And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. And now maybe they want some extra time to talk about this 3rd and long play as we'll get a timeout.
as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. He'll look to throw. That is caught inside the 5. Now the Rams will signal for a timeout, their second, as they'll stop the clock with 26 seconds to go until halftime. A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on 1st and goal.
Here we go now.
They'll try and get it home with Sherman, the fullback. And he'll keep working toward that end zone as he's down to about the 2-yard line. It's a gain of a yard, and it'll set up 2nd and goal.
No. Check. Patriot. Detroit.
He'll get it up the middle, trying to keep those big legs churning, but he's going to go down in the backfield. Now whistles and a timeout with 3 seconds left in the first half. So 3 seconds here remain in the half. On is the field goal unit to see about getting 3. Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked. So there you have it. Halftime quickly over. 3rd quarter, here we go. The Rams going to get the football first here, and they look to build on their lead as the second half gets started. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Back onto the field now comes the wideout Antonio Brown. And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games where we've seen a guy have a big game like this? But it's usually not by himself, is it? Right. Usually it opens it up for other people to have big games as well.
2nd and 6, just inside the 30. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Over the middle here to Brown. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. His 5th catch tonight, and it's good for a first down. And he's over 100 yards now after that last catch. Already, of course, leading the NFL in receiving yardage.
So he's done nothing at all to hurt his cause, to stay in that spot. But I've been so impressed with how he's gotten it done. Body control, route running. How about the way he competes for the football at the end of the play?
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he's going to take this across the 50 into Browns territory. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short.
And he continues to pile up the yardage. That puts him over $150 now. And this defense has really had its problems trying to keep him contained.
Back to throw. And his pass incomplete. Antonio Brown, the intended receiver. And it's 3rd and short.
Sometimes the coverage is so good, no matter what you're doing on offense, you just can't shake anyone free. They try their best to find someone open, but they took away every passing alley, every angle, and shut the play down.
Hurry up, here we go.
They'll go to the air here on 3rd and 2. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
I think normally we would talk about this more with basketball players and football players, but let's adopt it in this case. He's a stat sheet stuffer.
Had the interception earlier, now a sack. What, he just needs a touchdown for the trifecta.
That's about all he needs, and he's going to go for it.
Here's the Browns now. They get set for their first possession of the 3rd quarter. They were able to get the stop defensively. Now a chance to turn that into points on the offensive end.
Can you imagine what the grease board looks like at the half? Because
tell me.
That's exactly what they printed up. Stop them on defense, get the ball back for our offense, and go downfield and score some points. Now, the last part remains to be seen, but they got the first part done very well.
Do people use grease boards, or you mean the magic marker boards?
Yeah, those two.
Here we go now. 3-19.
On play action, Rosen. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down.
Here we go now.
On third down, Rosen. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
We're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly, because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, in fact, you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
It's still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
Watch it now, Barney!
They keep it on the ground. Again, it's Brown. And he'll get about 3 here as he's out to the 30.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
The Rams on third down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. They'll set up a throw. Hard throw, incomplete. Trying to get their tight end involved finally. That's the first time that they've looked his way. He's kind of been a forgotten man in this offensive scheme.
Yeah, it didn't look his way at all in the first half, and I'll bet you the offense coordinator made a note at the half and said, let's get him involved because he could be a big-time playmaker for us.
Good blocking there, nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And the Browns will take over 1st and 10. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10.
Here we go now. Blue line it.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 45. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
Set. Blue line it.
Now Rosen to throw on 2nd down. He's got a man. It's his fullback. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains.
All right, here we go. Green 39. Green 39.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. He'll get a nice chunk there on the 1st down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
And they'll go with a ground attack here. And an alley to run. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. A big hitter there. A 1st down gain of 26 yards.
This is a little bit like baseball here. Strong up the middle. Both sides want to be that. In this case, the offense ended up winning the ultimate battle.
And those big runs between the tackles, that's a little deflating for a defense, isn't it?
It really is, because that's where your strength's supposed to be. You're supposed to be in a spot where they can't make that yardage there. You're supposed to send them outside. Not in this case. That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, gotta like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a 1st down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
And here he'll get it down to the 7. And now timeout is whistled as it appears there's a Brown shaken up on the play. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. 1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game.
Here we go now. Green 39.
Now they'll run on the draw. So a nice job to break the 1 tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. And give him 5 that time as they draw a bit closer here for a 2nd and goal.
Well, he did get a taste the previous week. He got into the end zone trying his best to get there in this game. So far, he's been denied.
They come out here in the eye. They'll give it to him up the middle. And this is not going to do it as he stopped at the 2-yard line. It'll go as no gain on the play, and now they're looking at a 3rd and goal.
Well, I didn't have to stretch for this one. This is 4-down territory. They've got to get it in with the deficit that they're facing.
Absolutely. It's not the 4th quarter, but still. And he's in. Touchdown, Browns. A great effort there. His 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Browns get a score closer. That's a score you felt they had to have here in the 3rd quarter to get back in this game.
And you know that there's an emphasis on their side. Hey, we know this. We know where we are. But sometimes that binds you up so much that you try too hard, you don't get the score. A perfect combination of urgency, yet relaxed enough to get it done.
A nice little juke. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. So now here are the Rams as their offense comes back out. Certainly want to avoid what they had to do last possession. That was punt the football because this game's starting to tighten up.
In a basketball sense, you think about taking a little bit of the air out of the ball, right? Maybe milk some clock, limit the possessions. In this case, they might want to do the same thing but control the game offensively.
Antonio Brown, kiss him goodbye. Touchdown, L.A. Antonio Brown, 78 yards. And the Rams add on to their lead. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky Country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
Extra point up and through. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. Heading out as the Cleveland offense now as they get set to take over here. I guess they have to feel a little gratified to at least get on the board last time, but still work to do.
No doubt about it. I wonder now if they're going to try to increase the urgency a little bit, maybe pump up the pace, maybe go 2-minute. Who knows? Let's see what they decide to do.
And he'll take this up near the 35, maybe the 34. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
On 2nd down, Rosen. And incomplete on the deep ball. Josh Gordon, the intended receiver. And it's 3rd and short.
The frustration is definitely setting in because they've thrown it to him over and over, unable to come up with a catch thus far.
I think he knew he would have his challenges against his secondary. I don't think he saw a goose egg at this point in the game.
On 3rd and 1, Rosen. He's going to loft one deep left side here. He's got him in, complete. Oh, he almost intercepted it. They're just forcing it into too many tough spots. That was almost a 4th pick of the game. And now 4th down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And that'll make this a 2nd and 13.
From our vantage point, that was just one bad play by the offensive line in a series of really good ones tonight.
And we're back now here in Cleveland. It's the Rams out in front here. They've got control of the football as well as we get set for the 4th quarter. Now Bray. And a first hookup with his lock-throw tight end, Rob Gronkowski. And he goes out of bounds just shy of the 45. A gain of 32 that time. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era, and we think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
319! 319!
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he'll be taken down just shy of midfield. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down. They'll run. This is Brown. And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be third down.
Well, he didn't make headway on that one, but he's had plenty of carries all night long. I just wonder if maybe he's a little bit tired from toting the rock that much.
In need of a conversion on third down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense.
Hurry up, here we go! 319! 319!
They'll look to throw. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Brown. Quick slant there, gets him the first down, 6 yards on the play. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on third down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
They'll run it here with Brown. He takes this for about 6 down inside the 40.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw it through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now.
All right, here we go. 319! 319! Hey, watch the slant! Watch the slant!
A quick hitter to Sherman, the fullback. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive. This is where, fourth quarter, you got the lead, you give it to the big guy. Defensively kind of sucks the will out of them, doesn't it? Because they don't want to tackle him right now this late in the game.
But you say that with accusatory tones. I mean, but you're exactly right. I know it's not something we actually want to talk about, but as a defender, 4 quarters worth of trying to bring people down, 4 quarters worth of pounding, and now late in the game, here comes that big guy coming at you, and a lot of guys are wondering where they want to come up and make that tackle at this stage of the game.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. Tackle made by Devondre Campbell.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. This will be caught inside the 10. And finally, down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. A very solid gain of 27. They'll try and run for it on first and goal. And that'll move him a little closer as he takes it from the 7 down to the 4-yard line.
Well, it's been the air game that's taken them down on this drive before they finally turned around and handed it off on the last play.
And now they're looking for the big boys to get him in the end zone. Couldn't do it there.
It'll be interesting to see. Offensive lines had to pass block a lot on this drive. Will they be able to revert and fire out and create some space in the run game?
Shakes off this under pressure. Down he goes. Sacked at the 10.
I know I'm supposed to do the analysis here, but I've got to ask, how did he stay alive that long in the pocket?
Yeah, great footwork, which we know he has. If he would have been able to stay alive, get rid of the ball, or run for some yardage, he would have had a very unhappy defensive coordinator, I believe.
No doubt about that.
This has been a long drive. You got to figure a field goal would be a letdown. Can they convert now on 3rd and goal? Back to throw here. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Well, it's been a tough go for them. These guys have been driving down the field, but defensively, once they got their backs to the goal line, turned up the pressure, that's going to lead to a 4th down. Well played.
And Butker able to put this one through. And that will push this lead up to 20 now. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Charles, this one not over, certainly, but you set the magic number earlier in this game at 20 points, said that they would need to hold them right around that marker under it. What are you seeing here?
Well, that number is still in play because we said, okay, 20 or under gives them a chance to win. Right on pace for being in that range. And guess what? They've got a shot.
Line of scrimmage, again, the 25, 2nd and 10.
Let's go! Blue Lightning! Blue Lightning!
Rosen again on 2nd and 10. Finding a safety valve here. That's complete. And he gets this up just shy of the 30 to the 29 before he's out of bounds. It's a 4-yard pickup, and that'll lead here to a 3rd down.
Let's go!
From the shotgun, it's Rosen. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. Calling a loss of 2 on the play. And it'll be 4th down. Really good defensive effort. They were all over that little swing pass out to the right side before lost yardage.
Terrific read, better execution, and done with a lot of enthusiasm, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
They saw it all the way, ran to the football, and caused a nice...
Allen Robinson, kiss him goodbye. And great yardage here all the way deep into Los Angeles territory. And now timeout is whistled as it appears there's a Brown shaken up on the play. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside. A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a 1st down in the red zone.
All right, here we go. Green 39. Green.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he'll get this one down to about the 17. It'll be a gain of 2. And speaking of 2s, it'll take us to the 2-minute warning. Time for a break. We'll come back and see this one out after this. So the Browns in possession of the football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Out of the gun, here's Josh Rosen. Complete to the tight end, Kittle, over the middle of the field. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. From the gun on 3rd down is Rosen. This will be caught just inside the 10. And he's got the 1st down as he gets it to the 8. The gain of 5 that time gives him the conversion and makes it 1st and goal. Rosen will throw, and his throw is incomplete.
I'm going to need some help with this one. How did he miss it? Wide open in the end zone. He's not hurried. He's not hit. And somehow, incomplete?
Yeah.
What happened?
During film study, that's one where he's just going to shake his head, not be able to believe it.
6 points go by the wayside on that one.
He'll get it up the middle, and that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down. 3rd and goal, Rosen. And that is, I think he caught it. He did, but they'll say out of bounds. It'll be incomplete.
That was a difficult catch, and I admire the fact that he actually caught the football, worked so hard to get his feet down in bounds, tried to do the toe tap. My dad's an accomplished tap dancer. I'm not sure he would have gotten his feet in on that one.
Is he really, by the way?
That he is.
How about that? What about young Davis?
No, it did not. It did not cross.
It didn't carry over.
No, it stopped right there.
And it is incomplete.
They can't hook up here on the fourth down pass attempt, and it's becoming increasingly clear now that the Rams are going to win this football game. So they tried to go for it for pride, but it really wouldn't have mattered. This one, it was already determined.
No doubt about it. This one was over a while ago.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field stands.
So they went to the booth to see if that was a touchdown, and they have decided it will not be a touchdown. 6 points off the board. And on the ground they go with a running back. And he's going to be taken down here at about the 10. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Now we give to the up man. That's Sherman. And he fumbled it. It's on the ground. And I think the Browns got it. They did. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Block in the back. Offense.
Of course, they have the option, and they choose to not take the penalty.
They like the results of the play that they just ran, and they elect to let them stand.
Now Rosen on first down. And a big loss here as he's taken down. And before the second down play, we'll get a whistle, a signal, and a timeout. As they get it with just 19 seconds left on the clock. After the sack, oh, they're staring at a challenge basically from the other side of town. It's second and a country mile. From the gun, it's Rosen. Now a final chance to stop it here as a timeout comes in with 10 seconds left in the game. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down went backwards. It's third and very long. Rosen off the play action. Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 46. And now with 4 seconds left, we get a timeout call. The Browns send out their punter now. As the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Well, I know at points in this when you wanted to close your eyes because of all the points that were being put on the scoreboard. You're a defensive guy, but it was a fun little track meet, wasn't it?
It was, and you know the people really enjoyed this game? They're the ones that like going to batting practice at the Major League Baseball parks, right? Seeing the 14-11 game, that sort of deal. That's right up their alley with what we saw in this one.
So for L.A., they move back over 500 now at 6-5. And they'll get another road test next week as they have to go to New Orleans to take on the Saints. Meanwhile, for Cleveland, it's a loss that sets them back in their playoff push as they fall to 6-5. And they'll try to rebound.